Anything.
We rolling.
Yes, sir. What's good, beautiful people? Welcome to the podcast, Two Vegetarians Eating Chicken. It's your boy, Mr. Lingo himself.
Hi, it's your boy, KJ.
What's good, Chicago? What's good, KJ?
What's up, man?
Hey, this episode 6, man. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, shout out to the subscribers. You know what I'm saying? All our Buzzsprout subscribers and listeners. You know what I'm saying? YouTube subscribers. You feel me? Go follow us on Twitter and IG at 2vec #2vec podcast. You feel me? You got questions, you got shit you want to hear us talk about, send us a message, you feel me, or email via, you feel me, 2vegetarians eating chicks, CHIX, at gmail.com. You feel me?
Definitely. I'll be sending on goofy shit though, man.
Nah, man, you know.
Some goofy YouTube comments, man. Y'all keep that shit to yourself. Like, for real, man. Like, it's all positive energy over here.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? But that's going to come with the territory, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, knock on wood, you feel me? It is what it is, you feel me? But this episode 6, man, we excited to have y'all, you know what I'm saying? Thanks for tuning in, you know what I'm saying? What we talking about today?
A couple things, so let's jump right into it. I came across a pic on IG.
Okay.
Sada Baby pretty much was saying that people call people in their 30s pretty much scared. And he was saying, like, yeah, they are scared. They're scared to lose everything that they pretty much work for. No one wants to go to jail. No one wants their kids taken away. No one has worked this hard to accomplish it.
Real shit.
And it's easier to be reckless, I'll just say, when you don't really have much. You know, you're still trying to prove yourself. You're still trying to come up in the world. You know, you're not in a committed relationship. You don't have a house yet. You know, you're not really ownership of a lot of responsible things. So, what you think? What y'all think, man? Is he right? I mean, I think he is.
No, I see no lies of what he said. I mean, it's like for me, when you think about people who have nothing to lose, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna take all the unnecessary risks as far as they don't give a fuck what the consequences is to what they do. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got no, you feel me, no business to run. They ain't got no rent to pay. They ain't got. So for me, it's like, if I get into it with somebody and we out at like a venue or something, you know what I'm saying, and we with everybody, and I know potentially if I ain't no harm really being done to me, like I don't feel the need to like, you know, get overhyped or like, you know what I'm saying, feel like I need to like prove a point to this person because he calling me a bitch or this or that. You can say as much as you want to say, but like they say, actions speak louder than words, you know what I'm saying? Until you swing on me or you feel me, some shit like that happen, then there ain't really much more to talk about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't feel like, you know what I'm saying, no lame or nothing. Like, cause I know what I have. I got kids and shit. Like, you know, I know what I need to protect. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go to jail for no goofy motherfucker who clearly ain't got nothing to lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fair. So for me, I see nothing wrong with what he just said. Like, all that shit is straight truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting because the world don't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's completely different.
I think the world do. I just think that it depends on who we're talking to, right? And
that's true, like, too. Well, a percentage of the world definitely don't look at it that way.
But the percentage that we look at is the younger percentage of the world who's pretty much driving, who's changing everything. So it's kind of like they kind of don't have value.
The younger generation.
Okay.
That's what they put on.
We're in our 30s though. So
well, you know,
even though we're not at the top, bro, like we still see things a lot differently than we saw things when we were like 25, 26.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when I was 25, 26, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, yeah, fuck that job. I don't know. But now I'm kind of like, this job is paying decently. Ain't no need for me to really, like, do I really want to take that risk? I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm questioning that, then yeah, I'm taking a risk. Because first of all, I generally don't even be questioning shit like that. But if I'm in a position,
to get the biscuit.
Right, if I'm in a position where I have to, like, question if they're valuing me over my worth, then it's just like, well, I'm out the door. Like, I don't have time to be playing games with this situation because at the end of the day, I'm grown.
Facts.
And I've worked to do certain things, so I don't have to prove myself to you because I've already proven myself to myself. So yeah, I think that. But when it comes to some weird regular street shit, you know, it just don't flow the same. You know, I'm more into have like. You know, I'm more able to have a conversation or be like, come on, cuz, you tripping. I mean, I've always been there anyway, and you know, my tone is just my tone. Like, I'm just like, all right, bro, like, if that's how you feel, like we can do what you want to do. Right now, it's gonna pretty much be like, we can still do what you want to do. I just gotta get out of there. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You want to fight, we're gonna fight real quick, but then I gotta get out of there because I'm not even trying to be wrapped up in the rest of this, and whatever comes with that. Because that's just not where I am in my life. And I do have shit to lose. And if you don't, well, maybe one day you will. But I'm
This
not
generation motherfucker be like, man, keep it real. Like, a nigga could die here. Like, damn, bro. Like, you feel me? Why we can't just throw that? But no, it's just this completely different perspective and how things are looked at. And it's all about evolving at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? The generation who is under us and who's coming up now, they haven't reached that point to where we are right now. Where, you know what I'm saying? We look at shit completely different, where it's like, you know, we take value in, you know what I'm saying, our kids, or like, you know, what we got going on with this or that, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting, but we ain't got to stay too long on that. But that's a great ass conversation piece as far as, you know what I'm saying, what he tweeted or whatever. But that was Twitter, right? Yeah.
I mean, IG, Twitter.
Whatever was IG, Twitter, whatever.
Twitter, we came across, we found it. That's all that matters. Shout out baby for that.
Facts.
So, leading topic though, which can be passionate to a lot, controversial to others.
Oh yeah, you know how we come. You feel me?
So,
project stories. If y'all been watching and y'all remember, you know what I'm saying. I don't remember if it was a blooper or what it was, but behind the scenes joint. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Hey, Eric. You feel me? We talked about project stories. You know what I'm saying? And we knew it was something that we kind of wanted to talk about. Because it's something that has connected us in a way, in an interesting way. You know what I'm saying? Being from Rockwell Gardens and, you know, KJ people being from the village, and you know what I'm saying? But the question is, or the topic itself is, you know, how society has tried to recreate the environment that projects had. You know, safety, community, love. We finna dive into it.
Wait. Let's just repeat that, because people don't even hear that. In the project, there was safety, there was love, and there was community. And
Sense
no
of all
one
of
has
those.
been able to repeat that.
So how has society tried to recreate the environment that projects used to have?
About recreating projects.
Kick it off. I'm gonna get this chicken, but kick it off.
I personally see the more buildings go up, condos, if you would say, around areas where projects used to be.
Gentrification.
And they're just nicer. And so it's really funny, because a friend of mine once said, I don't want to go to this area because of the fact that when I lived there, no one wanted to protect us, no one wanted to keep us safe, no one wanted to make our houses look as nice as those houses look today.
That's real.
It is. It definitely is. But at the same time, what we see is, in the projects, we'll say a tower, right? So a tower will be like 14 stories, we'll say maybe 15, depending on where you are. And I mean, me personally, I spend a lot of time like pretty much 3 stories. The back, Jane Addams, whatever. Yeah. You know.
So Rockwell was like, I think at least 13 floors.
Okay.
12, some shit like that.
Yeah. Then you got like Roosevelt, shit was like 15, 16 floors.
Yes.
Anyway, across from row houses still. Needless to say, so we just get back to this, right? On the first floor is what, like a candy lady, candy lady, ice cream, or snow cones, whatever you want to do. Like, you know, you come to the
icy cups, flaming hots with cheese and the ground beef. Fuck you mean? All of it, bro. All the fixings.
And everything just came from there. And even when I went outside, right? And it's so funny because I was playing with my daughter today, and she was bouncing the ball, and I'm like, oh shit, this is like tops. If you don't know what tops is, you bounce past the ball and you hit the top to make it flip over to the next person. That is a skill, my guy. That is literally a skill. So
that's like pitching quarters, boy, trying to hit the line.
but I'm just saying though, but like that's a skill to learn basketball. That's a bounce pass.
Facts.
Right? And I even think about the games that I played, it was pretty much like strike them out. I think the older generation called them like box or something, hot box or some shit. But it's pretty much, you pretty much perfect your pitching, because all you're doing is throwing the ball at an X. And if you're lucky, you get a batter. If you're lucky, you get a hitter. And so one person's working on his pitching and another person's working on his hit. It's so different, and it's so weird how we've just worked on these crafts to take us to elevate to higher things. And people are like, well, how do they make it and how they're so great? Because most of us have been doing this all their lives. Anyway, let's just go back to what it was though. So now we see 13, 14, 15 story condos. Now we see them with parks downstairs. Now we see them trying to have all these stores and food chains. And it's just a resemblance of what? Of the project. The only thing that is not there is the community, because I knew that when I went outside that I was safe. I knew that as long as I was in my area, no matter if it was 3 blocks or 4 blocks, somebody knew me from the area, and somebody, if I was ever in trouble, could definitely help me. And they'll make sure that I was okay. Prime example, some random stranger came and talked to me one day. And I talked to him, I was shorty. And the crossing guard came running up, yelling at me like,
talk to strangers.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get out of here. Like, and shoot the stranger off. Now, this lady, this is her job. She don't know me. But at the same time, this is just speaks to the community and the love that she had because she knew that I was a kid in the community. She saw my parents. You know what I'm saying? It's just that whole circle of things. And even with friends, right? You have a core thing of you have a core amount of friends. And
so let me ask you this: if you don't, I want you to finish your point.
Go ahead.
What initially? So when you think about CHA, Chicago Housing Authority, what was the initial idea behind CHA? What was it supposed to do for us as, you know, a demographic?
I'm
you know
not sure about the initial thing behind it because we didn't do our research. Well, I didn't do my research, but at the same time, I think it was the housing complex for the, you know, the.
Did it always start as, you know, lower income, you know, demographic of people? CHA kind of started to not really group, but I guess it was kind of like the first affordable housing kind of shit.
Fair.
If you really think about it.
But it started off not for people of color. It started off for like all the immigration. If we really want to talk about our history,
got you.
That's how it started off. So that's how you get like the Italian area and you get the other areas because that's how it started off and that's how it was segregated in Chicago specifically.
Right.
The weird thing about
the Great Migration, all that shit, and then
right. And then like as it became more and more black people started coming in, you knew, and they started leaving, so more black people started coming in, and then like you know how that whole situation happened. That continues to happen still to today.
Facts, which is very accurate.
So, but still, it's mind-boggling to me how.
Right. So at one point there had to be so when you even think about like gangs and shit, right? Like and how it was like, you know, the Black Panther Party and like, you know, whatever the gangs were, like, you know what I'm saying, how they originated, it was all in a sense of trying to help the community and the people of the community, you know, whether it was, you know, bringing them food or doing food drives or doing like, you know, coat drive, all that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? So the powers that be definitely had to get a sense of like, you know, almost kind of like they doing shit that we don't really like, or it's kind of like advanced in a way. So the whole community aspect of it, right? So like it had to look like a community aspect of it in some form or fashion, because literally everything that has been recreated on the land where the projects used to be, it still feels like if you really go back in time and you look at that shit now, like you just mentioned, it's just all these like condos and like, you know, it still feels like project, you know, it's just an upper echelon, like, you know, a upscale of it, like, almost kind of like tie that shit down, we could do it way better type shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to think about how they're trying to, you know, recreate it in a way. And I was telling you earlier, like even living in Rockwell, and just kind of like, you know, knowing the community of people who were in those same confines as me, I never felt like unsafe. You know what I'm saying? Because again, people knew who you were. People knew either your mama or your daddy, or, you know, your sister or your brother, or who you rock with in this. Now, don't get me wrong, it was still like shit going on within Rockwell Gardens, like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
I mean, it's always though, like it's always something going on in the community. No community is like 100%.
Very accurate.
Like safe.
Clearly.
But at the same time,
overall,
it's you know, it's something that's like just really humbling, and something that's just like comfort. Just walking through.
Yeah.
You know, like you can read the vibe, and I don't think you would ever be able to not read the vibe of walking into like a situation where it's a group of like black kids or black adults, like you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's because of the upbringing or not, but it's more uncomfortable walking into like an office space where it's like 2 or 3 people of color than it is walking in front of this group of people who are considered dangerous. And 9 out of 10, not saying that they're not, Because we don't know who's
yeah.
doing what. We don't know if anyone has a knife or if anyone has a gun. But it's just comfort.
Yes.
Walking. And
Still be aware and alert.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but it's something to say to that, right? So like you as an individual, as a black man, walking into something like an office space where it's like predominantly white, and then you literally walk in that bitch looking for the other black people. You know what I'm saying? Or if they even there, like, you know what I'm saying? That's something that you really have to become accustomed to or adjust to as far as experience goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that's something you walking right into without no type of experience, it's gonna be hella uncomfortable for you for a while until you get used to walking into that every day. Because if you come from something like, you know, a black community where you see black people all the time, like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same as school, like, you know what I'm saying? If you went to all black school for elementary school and then you go to high school, it's damn near all white people. You know what I'm saying? You can count the black people on your, you know, 2 hands type shit. You know what I'm saying? It looks completely different. But it is funny, man. Like, there's a line in a song. Maybe it was some shit I did. I can't even remember. But they snatched Cabrini for the green. Literally, Cabrini Green. I don't even remember how many buildings was in that whole, you know, community of Cabrini Green.
You got the red and the whites.
But if you look at everything that's over there now in Cabrini, and I got family, you know, from Cabrini, but if you look at everything that's over there now, it's solely to profit the upper class people.
Fair.
Solely to profit them.
And I agree, but at the same time, it just takes me back, and it's unfortunate because of the same thing that, like,
it's fucked up.
Said.
That's the words he really looking for.
When we occupied that space, nobody wanted to help and fix it and see the whatever.
No.
You saw the value in it. You saw what we created, and you wanted to recreate what we already had, which is the shitty part about it. Jay-Z said it, though. Mm-hmm. You want to know why they call it a project? Because it's a project.
Yes.
And that's literally what I've seen transpire and what has come to be. Like, you can't recreate it. And so that's why it's hard living in Chicago and, like, you know, even buying a house. Like, I want to buy a house, but then I don't because I don't want to take care of the lawn and shit. But at the same time, though, it's kind of like I refuse to live in condos for a long time, bro.
That's fair.
Like, it's really hard because of the fact that it's just like motherfuckers staying over here and you kick people out from this area, and then you turn around and you just rebuild this area up and then try to put more people back in here. It's kind of stupid.
No, it's fucked up, bro.
No, it definitely is. I think that
there's no real other way to look at it besides calling it what it is. Like, if you think about, so in Cabrini they only still have those little, they got like a few row houses, and it almost kind of feels like, are we just gonna keep these little right here so it can still have,
that's,
like, you know what I'm saying? That's even shitty.
They build in buildings to look down on the row houses too.
And it's so fucked up. One of my homies lived in a condo right there on Chicago Avenue. When you come over the bridge, whatever that street is, but basically by Cabrini. And when I used to go over there, I used to just always think about my people who used to live in Cabrini. Like, it's all like kind of like, and then and they still profit. They just shot the other Candyman in there. Like, you know, that shit was shot in Cabrini Green. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now they was only able to use, like, well, I ain't seen the movie because I don't think it came out yet.
It comes out next year. We ain't even doing that because we ain't promoting.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, in general, though, like, you feel me? Like, but they probably can only use the row houses, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because there ain't no other high rises no more that they can use. Like, you feel me?
I mean, it's other than somewhere else. The weirdest thing is,
yeah, over on State or whatever the fuck that is. Like, but them like the only like high rises that's left, like, technically.
In Chicago, no. It's one over here on,
well,
we just drove past where?
Well,
I ain't gonna mention the street, but we just drove past.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's like, it's a couple sporadic buildings, but no, it's not like real project.
Yeah, it ain't the same as, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's not the same as like the entire area. Yes, you're correct about that, sir.
Yeah, bro. It just, I think it's just really interesting, and obviously there's way more, like, you know, research that could be done, and maybe we might have to do a part 2 to this shit. But yeah, it's just interesting watching, and then us, you know, in the age that we're at, you know what I'm saying? I remember my first experience with gentrification. Like, I used to live off of Damon and Washburn, basically. And on that block was my school. I went to Gladstone Elementary. It was literally Gladstone Elementary, big ass lot. between Gladstone and then my crib was right there, and it was it was all these like, you know, apartment buildings down at least 2 or 3 streets. And it just felt like a community. We knew everybody on that street, like, you know what I'm saying? Think about people from the low end, like, you know, and the village was like not far at all, like, you know what I'm saying? So I remember feeling like, I think I was probably like maybe sixth or 7th grade, something like that. Shit just drastically started changing. Like, I remember conversations happening and UIC's like right there. So UIC started buying up everything. They literally started, like, you feel me, land snatching. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. My friends started moving and shit. Like, some of my close friends moved to fucking Iowa. Like, Iowa? Like, damn, ain't nothing to see y'all no more. Y'all moved to Iowa, bro. And they just started tearing those buildings down. Now when you go back over there, literally only thing on that little strip and where all the buildings used to be is Gladstone, which is the elementary school, which is UIC College Prep now. UIC College Prep. And fucking, real shit. UIC College Prep, which used to be Gladstone Elementary. And then it's like a church that's always been right there, Mount Zion or some shit like that, which we had our graduation at, you feel me? But it's crazy. Like, it's completely different. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I remember that being my first. I never knew why. I'm like, damn, I hate UIC. Like, why they taking all my friends away? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was my first experience with gentrification, because I'm just like, wow, this is really happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I never really knew what it was until I got older, you know what I'm saying? And then start hearing that word a lot more. Like, you feel me? But back then, I don't even know if it probably was still a word. But I ain't know what the fuck the word was, like, you know what I'm saying, growing up and just knowing that your friend's about to move and ain't nothing you could do about it type shit, you feel me? It was fucked up, bro.
The part about that is,
it was fucked up.
It's kind of like you, like in all areas, it's a certain type of, and I talk about this all the time with different people. Mm-hmm. Like in all areas, it's a certain type of cultural norm, right? So like the west side has a certain norm, the east side has a certain norm, the south side has a certain norm. And so what I end up seeing, because we end up moving to the south side, is that I personally didn't fit into the south side norm immediately. Like, I grew to fit into it because I had family out there anyway, so I spent time out there.
Right.
And you know, you just get accustomed to anything over time, but at the same time, it's just like, whenever, like, you take the buildings down, and then you put a bunch of people who are used to a different set of rules, and then you place them into another place that's set up for a different set of rules, and you think that it's not going to be any type of conflict. Like, it just feels like they set it up so that we will be targeting each other automatically off top.
Yes.
Because you know,
yes.
Either you're going to take,
there we go.
Like, you're going to take the red people, and you're not going to say people, but you'll take this culture and you'll put that culture. One culture is going to survive if they don't merge, and so, or you just have 2 different cultures, and what happens is the dominant force ends up taking over, and so that's where it comes with, like, all the wars, all the
gang wars and all that shit, because we were so crammed. It was like we was crammed, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, you crammed into
in this like radius,
and you know how to live within the project.
Yeah, that's real.
This person, and that's a certain type of beast itself, and then you go to this other place, and it's just like, all you know is what you know, because a lot of people only lived in the projects all their lives. Mm-hmm. And so then they go over here, and now it's just like, these people have never experienced the projects or people from the projects as much as, you know what I'm saying? So now it's just like a big clash, and it just sets up a big negative fuse of energy.
We was literally in a bubble.
Yep.
Rockwell Gardens was literally a bubble.
I mean, but you weren't the only one though, because like you had everything though. You had stores, you had the candy lady, you had everything else. Then you had grocery stores, you had the laundromat that's around there. We had 2 boys and girls clubs before they closed them down. And the crazy thing about it is, when I knew gentrification was real, they took away the boys and girls clubs, and we didn't have shit. And my mother was kind of like, well, if there's nothing to do but get in trouble, we can't be over here. Facts. So we have to leave. And that was her point of view of it.
It's fucked up, bro.
It gets deep, man. It's
deep
project stories, though, man. We can always
project stories. Yes.
Yeah,
we might have to fucking do a part 2, bro. Because you just brought up a good point, and I knew that because I did remember at some points feeling like, you know,
I'm not meant to be here.
Damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Damn, like they got us. Like, literally in Rockwell, we lived on the 9th floor. I think we stayed in like 902 or some shit like that. Yeah. And they used to have these like these mesh like fences. Like literally, you could like walk to this mesh fence and kind of like put your hands on it, which prevented people from like falling out of that. So just imagine like I'm pretty sure there are stories of like children and babies like falling through that mesh shit.
I think
like
somebody fell through from Ida B. Wells.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally, that was, just think about that. Like, that's damn near as close to jail bars as you can get. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you really think about shit like that. But it was just this, like, mesh ass. And it was, like, hard. Like, you feel me? You weren't like, no, you feel me? Shit, you could just push out like a screen, like a window screen or whatever. But still, it was just like, damn, like, I feel confined almost in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, when I used to walk out of 340, I used to just feel like, and walk over that bridge to go towards Western or not go towards Roosevelt. Like I used to feel like some sense of like freedom, like, you know what I'm saying? Almost in a way where it was just like, but that was when I was like, when I got older. I don't remember none of my younger years. So I was about 8 at this point, you know what I'm saying? And I just couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. Cause it was just like, you feel me? We ain't really have nothing in the lower area. Like we ain't have no playground. You had to go all the way over by like 2517 when we used to be in tour with them over there. It's just like this big dumbass bubble. Like we all in the same bubble, but I can't even go over there because like, you feel me, we in tour with them or we in tour with, you feel me, 2515. Like it was crazy, bro. But we ain't gonna, you feel me, go too hard on it. You know what I'm saying? 2 vegetarians eating chicken. You feel me? It's your boy Mr. Lingo himself.
It's your boy KJ, man. But still remember, man, it was still always love. No matter what.
Always love. Always love.
No matter what building thing get along, man, it was always like some type of peace and love. Man.
Every holiday, big ass barbecues, 4th of July, we popping fireworks, and then we start popping fireworks at each other. I don't even know when that became a thing. Shooting Roman candles at people, all type of shit. But no, it was always love. It always had this community aspect to it. And you know, it's just in some way, like, you know, yeah, we would just have to have a part 2 because I can get more in depth. I don't want to keep going. Follow us on Twitter, man. Follow us on IG. You feel me? 2vec podcast, the number 2vec podcast. If y'all got shit y'all want to hear us talk about, please send it to us. You know what I'm saying? We will respond. We have responded to several questions and topics and people want to hear us talk about. 2 vegetarians eating chicks, CHIX at gmail.com. You feel me? We love y'all. Shout out to the subscribers. You feel me?
Thanks for support.
Peace.